Hey 5th grade, let's do problem set 111, 112. I hope you have your book with you. It's on page 537. Let's talk about using division in real life circumstances. We could take the number 15 and divide it by 4 and get 3 answers that are the same but written different ways. So we could say 3 remainder 3. We could write it as 3 3/4 as a fraction, or as a decimal, 3 7/75. But let's take an example problem. If we wanted to take 100 students and divide them and put them into 3 different classrooms, what would be the best way to do that as equally as possible? Well, you know that 3 goes into it, that 100 divided by 3 is 33 1/3. Okay, that could also be written as 33 remainder 1 or 33.333 with a line over it, right? It keeps going. So what we would do is we would divide 100 students into 3 rooms. We would put 33 in 2 of the rooms, and then in the last room, and we would take that last kid, because there was 1 left over, and we would divide him into 3 parts. Wait, what? No, you can't divide people into parts. Here's that poor little student. He's getting divided into 3 parts. His head will go in this room, his body will go in this room, and his legs will go in this room. No, I'm just kidding. So we would put 33 in one room, 33 in one room, and 34 in another room to equal 100. What about if you have $15 and you're trying to figure out how many movie tickets you can buy with $15? Well, they're $4 each. And once again, we're using these same numbers that are up here. So what this tells us is you can buy 3 tickets and 3/4 of a ticket. Can you buy just part of a ticket? No. So if you only had $15 and the tickets are $4, you would round down and you could buy 3 tickets to the movie. Okay, last example problem is, let's talk about cars. So we've got 15 kiddos, and we've got cars that can seat 4 kids in each car. Well, we need to determine how many cars do we need if we have 15 kids. Well, here we are with these same numbers again. We know that 15 divided by 4 is 3 3/4. And since we can't divide a person into 4 parts, we know that we need 3 cars and 3/4 of a car. We can't divide a car into quarters either, so that we would round up at this point. We would need a total of 4 cars to transport 15 kids. So these are just some examples of how we would round up or down, or how we would distribute these numbers as equally as possible in like real life solutions. So I want you to go to practice set 111 and do A through D on your own. I want you to write it out. It'll go on top of the problem set 111 odds. You'll also have your practice problems A through D with those. Okay, moving on. 112, percentages. Let me erase my board with my little magic eraser here. And remember, if you have trouble with these, go back and watch the video again, go back and read the problem set again. Maybe there's another YouTube video that might be more helpful, or even call me, email me, do what you need to do. Okay, let's talk about percentages. The title of this problem set is finding a given percent of a number. So the first example is, what number is 75% of 20? And these are super fun because you have to like translate it. It's almost in its own language. So we're going to translate this problem. We're going to decide, do we want our 75% to be a fraction, or do we want it to be a decimal? I'm going to start with a fraction. I personally think it's easier to work with fractions. So I'm going to take my what number, I'm going to translate that to x. It's my missing dude here. You could also keep it, well, let's just keep it at n. N. Is, we translate to equal. 75%, the same as 3/4. Our of, we translate to multiplication, multiply, of 20. So now we have a whole new equation. What number equals 3/4 times 20? I'm just going to turn that 20 into a fraction, and now I've got 3 times 20 is 60. 4 times 1 is 4. Reduce or simplify that, and that gives me a total of 15. Now this would be, it would give me the same answer, but if I used a decimal, I would translate it, what number to n equals 0.75, because that's the same as 75 hundredths, times 20. Come over here and do the multiplication. 7 times 2 is 14 plus 1 is 15. Figure out my decimal places here. 1, 2. Come down here. 1, 2. You can see that the answer is the same, but I just used it, I turned the percentage into a decimal. Let's look at this as a word problem. The word problem says, Jamal correctly answered 80% of the 25 questions. How many questions did he answer correctly? Well, to find 80% of, you got to take those words and translate them. 25 equals what? We first have to turn 80% into either a decimal or a fraction. I'm running out of space here. Come on, move with me. It's a little laggy right now. Here we go. Okay, so if we take 80% of 25, I don't know what, just if something sounded weird there, it's because I had to clip this out. 80% we're going to turn into a fraction. Let's reduce that down. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 2 goes into 10 5 times. So now we have a new problem. 4/5 of, we translate to times 25. I'm going to put that over a 1 because I'm dealing with fractions. 4 times 25 is 100 over 5. 100 divided by 5 equals 20. So if we go back to what our original question was, how many did Jamal get right? He got 80% correct, so he got 20 problems were correct. If we turned 80% into a decimal, which would be 0.8 times 25, you can hear my kids playing ping pong, equals, and if you do this math, it is going to be the same as that. It's going to equal 20. So Jamal answered 20 questions right. Let's do one last example. So you can feel really good about this. Find 6% of $12. There's no is in this equation, so we're going to add it. 6% of $12 is, or equals, what number? So this is in the right order, the order that we're used to. So if we took 6%, which is the same as 600ths, we put that in a fraction. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 2 goes into 150. Yeah. Times $12. I'm going to put that over 1. 12 times 3 is $36. divided by 50, 360 divided by, that's basically, I'll put the decimal point in the right spot here in a minute. This is going to give us 0.72 or 72 cents because we're talking about dollars. So 6% of $12, 6/100ths of $12 is 72 cents when we do that math. We could also say 0.06 times $12 equals 72. 6 times 12, and we can figure out the decimals here in a minute, is going to equal 72. Move our decimal place over 2. Same thing, gives us 72 cents. Okay, that is lesson 112. You're going to do 111 odds, 112 evens. I want you to do practice problems for 111 and 112 as well, and that's on your assignment sheet. Go ahead and just put those at the top of the problem set page that you're working on. That'll be returned back to me with your packet. And if you have questions or concerns or need help, email me, call me. My number is 817-888-4397. We could set up like a video call. Okay? Alright. Happy mathing. Love you.